And we also have the social responsibility. Try to minimize those environmental impacts. This is today my talk. First, I would like to just give you an idea about the global tire demand. Okay, everybody uses the tires. You don't know how many tires produced each year. Okay. And I will talk about a little bit of life cycles. Tire just like a human being. You work very hard for life. Then after people don't think you are useful anymore, so you retire. And after you retire, you have many different choices. So we'll have to look at what the choices for the tire after it retires. And more important, I want to ask people, what is tire? How much do you know about tire? And we also talk about the regulation, tire regulations. And of course, the most important is what is environmental friendly tire. And it's not a color. Color matters, but it's not just color. We can make a tire any color you want. But here we're talking the green color is environmental friendly tire. So the world demand for tire is forecast raised about 4.7%. Through 2015, there are 3.3 billion tires in the world production. The value about $22 billion. Those numbers probably is very difficult to understand. Just give you an idea. A typical passenger tire makes 50 to 80,000 tires a day. That's a lot of tires. Okay, that's in order to meet the demand. That's what we need to produce. Okay, next. You look at the tire demand across China, about 34% out of the 3.3 billion tires. And the US, 15%, Western Europe, about 12%. And Asia Pacific, about 23%. Okay, tire life cycle. Most people, you don't know how tire is made. You know how to use the tire. But after tire use, there are many different choices. Some of the tire, they're 12 修, they have to be retrieved and used again on the road. And some of the tire find a second career to become different product. And some of the tires, they just so tired of the work, they will burn, so not exist anymore. But a lot of tire is 顽挺凄凉. They just sit there, enjoy the rest of his life. Okay, so let's go through this. And first, this is a tire manufacturing process from the raw material, and all the raw material goes through very complicated process. At the end, you have one tire come out. Okay. Nowadays, people talk about Industrial 4.0, basically try to automate the tire manufacturing process. Next one. Okay. I don't know if you remember this day. Okay. I know Jennifer walked home 3-4 hours back home. See, a lot of cars nowadays, everybody uses cars. Otherwise, you cannot go anywhere. And the picture here, just imagine all this tire, if you all got flat tires, those vehicles will stay there, cannot move. It doesn't matter your BMW or Rolls-Royce, it just cannot move. The second problem is this day is a snowing day in Atlanta. Unfortunately, most of the people use the wrong tire in the winter time. In this kind of weather, you have to use snow tire. Most people doesn't have the snow tire. But anyway, let's tell you, tires are very important to our society. Of course, they create a lot of problems. We can address it later. Next one. Another tire in the fashion, but I haven't figured out what's the environmental impact from those kind of products. But today we're not going to talk about that. Okay, the tire retire. Some of the tire can be retread. The retread basically is you buff up all the remaining tread, because no tread is no traction. And then you combine with pre-cured tire. Then you glue it together, and under the pressure environment, you cook. So you have better bonding, then tire can be reused. So that means you the tire is not tire 退而不休. He wants to continue service the human being. Okay. On the street, sometimes you see a piece of the rubber on the street. 90% chance those pieces from those retread tire. Okay. Some of the tire become a new product, and in the garden, see the flowers, trees every day. It's good life. But some of the product can be chopped to small pieces, put in the proving ground as a safety purpose. And some of the rubber mulch and the rubber track also can be used. And also a lot of artists actually become more popular. They use the tire to make the rubber sculpture. You can see this is all huge compared to the case here. But that's because one of the material artists used. Some of the tire, as I said, they're just so tired of this work, they rather to be burned. So when they burn, they produce about 2 gallons of oil, and also the toxins. Okay, next one. Wow, what's this? This is scrap tires. Okay, what is the scale of this? Looks next picture. There's 3 human beings here. This is a tire mountain. It's amazing, right? This is not only in the U.S. It looks next picture. In the Australia, those scrap the tire everywhere. Okay. So next slide. And in Houston, Colorado, they claim the world's largest tire dump site. Now they have $30 million tires awaiting to be treated. It probably takes a couple years. Then you will see the problem getting worse. Next one. Okay, you look at this is the 2003 data. I will show the about 290 million tire generated. About 44% has to be burned. Okay, and after all this different way to treat those used tire, about 10% of the tire will be disposed in the landfills. So every year, you about 20 million tires accumulate, have to be put in the dump site. So you can imagine this trend. After 10 years, 20 years, 100 years, okay, they are netting a lot of tires. So right now, accumulate the tire in the landfill about 265 million tires. Okay. Okay. So the tire, how they make impact on the environment. During the service, people are a lot of concern because the tread is gone. So where the material goes? Basically, they are in the form of the rubber debris. Okay, about 40% of tire weight, okay, are the rubber debris during the service. Give you an idea, a passenger tire about 22 pounds, they produce about 2.23 pounds debris. Okay, and the light truck tire even more, and for the big truck bus will generate about 12 to 17 pounds the rubber particles during the service. Okay, so people question that. Okay, the impact of those debris particles is still being studied at the international level. However, recently, November 6th, the international organization already claimed the tire and the road wear particles are safe for human health based on the result of recent research. And their statement following intensive ambient tire testing in Los Angeles, London, and Tokyo, the result has confirmed the rubber particle, probably less than 2.5 micron size, will be very low and below the human, will not hurt human being. Okay, so these today come here, you learn something. Don't need to worry about those particles. Okay, next. Okay, and why the used tire create an environmental problem? Because first, the consumer wants tire to be very tough, can be used for a long time. And the same reason, when you make a durable tire, this tire is difficult to dispose. Okay? In the US, every year we generate about 300 million tires. That equivalent to 1 person per year in the US generate 1 tire. So that's become a very serious environmental issue that has been mentioned here. And we know most of the tire not biodegradable. Okay, so that is one of the big issues. People try to find out biodegradable material, also try to find a way to recycle, repurpose of those used tires. Okay, we looked at UK also have 14 million tires used every year. Okay, and I mentioned that in the US about 300 million. In China, in 2014, China had 350 million tires. In China, only 10% really used like a retread or to the different product. Most are dumped. Okay, 90% are dumped in the landfill. And imagine, in the next couple of years, China and India, when their transportation, the highway, all become developed, you can imagine how many more used tire will produce by those 2 countries. Okay, so tire, people have to use tire. So not necessarily love the tire, but they have to use. But what is tire? The tire to most people is like a black, round, like a donut, right? Black donut, nothing else. Okay, but from a technical point of view, yes, from geometrically, it looks like a black donut. But a mechanical basically tire need to keep the air in there. You lose the air, tire cannot function. So it's more like the membrane to keep the air inside. Also, I will show later, tire is a very complicated engineered product. And one more thing is chemically. The tire have to go through chemical reactions. I will show the chemical reaction. That's why the tire is so difficult to dispose and break down. But basically, tire is a highly engineered product. Next slide. And if you can open the tire, you can look at, most people only know the tread, black, and sidewall, black. But inside the tire, you have at least 2 nylon cap and 2 steel belt. And then you have a body ply. You have the steel feeder wire and the apex. Okay, every part of this tire use different rubber compound, different steel, different fabrics, and how they put together is very complicated process. Okay, tire function, I think most people understand. It basically support the vehicle weight and the load, and also move the vehicle in different direction. Give you the traction. You don't want the tire like on the snow, ice, without traction. And also, you want to control the vehicle direction. And also, sometimes you go through the very bumpy road. You would like a good tire to absorb this the bump, so you feel comfortable. Next. Okay, the raw material, one of is natural rubber. Okay, in a very big wheel, the big piece of the rubber. Okay. The natural rubber, where they come from, is traditionally from rubber tree, rubber plantation. This is rubber tree. Every morning, the worker will cut one groove. They will collect, we call the latex, basically juice. And each day, they will collect 1 bucket of this latex. Okay? And most rubber tree is in this South Asian area. So basically, this is a very complicated process. You start from collect the latex. Latex have the protein. So bacteria will attack this latex. Then they coagulate. End of the day, if you don't do anything, it will become, we call the cut lung. It's very bad smell. It's very, very bad smell, like a rotten egg kind. If you go through this kind of production site, your whole clothes will smell very bad. One time I went there before I get on the airplane. You can imagine the people sitting next to me. Okay. But I changed my clothes before. But anyway, that's, this raw material have to go. Later on, I want to introduce two new material, try to replace the rubber tree. And this another material called the synthetic rubber. This is basically the chemical process product. And then you also have other ingredients, like the carbon black. Why tire is black? Basically, majority of the tire have to use the carbon black. But now, because of the green consideration, a lot of people have to use the silica. Silica is not black, but a little bit of carbon black will make tire black. And other ingredients, they all will put together in a big mixer, just like you mix a cake. The mixed cake, probably you have, I don't know, 500 cc or 1000 cc. This one batch is about 200 kilo, okay? They will mix everything together in 3 minutes. This is a basic ingredient. You have a rubber, natural rubber or synthetic rubber. You have a filler called silica or carbon black and oil. I will just ask you to keep in mind those three ingredients, because later on, or right now, people try to replace this kind of raw material, either from biodegradable or sustainable material. Okay, why the rubber is so tough? Because they are chemical reaction. So what's the rubber? Rubber more like spaghetti. You have a long chain, right? You have a long chain. So when you eat spaghetti, you can take one, you can pick up one and come out from the ball. But imagine, after say a couple hours, they all stick together. You cannot pull this one spaghetti up. It's all big blocks. Okay. And for the rubber used in tire, we have to use sulfur as a linker. You link all this rubber long chain together, becomes a three-dimensional product. That's why rubber is so tough. Okay, it cannot break down unless you break down this sulfur chain. Okay, next one. So what is tire? Tire is a very durable product, and because it's durable and it can last a long time, it's difficult to dispose and create a lot of environmental impact. And as I said, people try to looking for the new material. Okay, we talk about regulations. Okay, when the people try to protect this environment, they have to put a regulation, just like Eric said. We have to put a regulation. So what's the regulation for the tire? In Europe, they start in 2012, November, they request every tire produced and sold in the Europe have to have a label. Three things they want to label. One is rolling resistance. This is a lot to do with the fuel economy, I'll talk about later. And the wet traction, basically is safety consideration. You have to put traction under the wet weather. The other environmental issue is the noise. Okay? Those three things has been requested to label. So every tire you have to have label on the tire, so the consumer can look at the label and say, okay, I spend that money, I can buy, say, B grade tire. That's what my choice. Now, if you want to buy A grade, you may have to pay $200. It's your choice. But as a tire manufacturer has to let the consumer know what kind of quality of the tire it is. And in Japan, they are same kind of labeling. Okay, U.S. have established the labeling guidelines, but cannot pass to the Congress, so has not been implemented. Okay, next one. So now we talk about the environmental friendly tire technology. Okay, so in order to minimize the environmental impact, so that we want to use new material. And of course, we have other issues like new construction, tread design. But basically, the focus is try to reduce rolling resistance and also at least maintain the same durability and tread wear and the performance. Next. So what is a green tire? To answer Alex's question, it's not a color. Okay? Green tire is the green impact on the environment. We call it green tire. Basically, optimize the rolling resistance and also use renewable or sustainable resource. And right now, use new materials still in the early stage. Later on, I show some pictures. But people put a lot of effort try to minimize the rolling resistance. I will explain what is rolling resistance. So we call this energy tires. It is estimated over 1.5 billion tires currently produced each year. Probably a lot of consumers are not realized. Okay, that's about $160 billion. Okay, and in the 2012 and 2017, it's an estimate about 35% tire can call the green tire or energy tires. And the tire, I mentioned the tire use a lot of chemicals and from petrochemical industry. And at least some of the tire have petroleum oil-based material are free. Basically, I mentioned something like soybean oil and sunflower oil has been used in the tire. Okay. And the Bridgestone, they estimated 2015, there will be a totally tire made from the biodegradable material or natural material. Okay, let's show the global market. You can see that Europe is very lead the way. They have a lot of focus on this green tires and other area also. So focus on the green tire. Basically, you want to look at the sustainable tire material.